London, the city of 1,000 cities, cultural melting pot of the world, the home of Austen and Woolf and Wilde, and for almost 10 years now, the home of me. What do you think? A decade in, can I be deemed a true Londoner by now? I say yes, and as the first order of business as a Londoner, I'm doing a gentle little roast. Because coming here as an immigrant, you definitely have to be prepared to take the good with the bad, and the very bad. I think one of the first things that most people think of when picturing a life in London is the price tag. Yes, London is incredibly expensive, even for me, coming from Sweden, another incredibly expensive place. But just how expensive is it? And where have I noticed it the most? Let's get down to the nitty-gritty. When David and I lived in Berlin, we stayed in quite a few different flats, but our final Berlin apartment that we stayed in for 2 years was comparable in size and in location to the flat that we rented when we first moved back to London in 2019. This place we actually bought, so I don't really know what we would have been paying in rent for this place, but our last flat that we rented was almost exactly twice as expensive as our Berlin flat. Can you imagine that? Paying the double in rent for a very similar apartment? I would say it's the same with food shopping and restaurants and more or less every type of expenses. Okay, it's not usually double the price, but I would say probably around 50% more expensive compared to Berlin when we lived there. Although I have heard that Berlin has got crazy expensive too now. If we have any Berliners watching, please do tell. So, London, to be completely honest, it's just not a city made for normal people, and especially not for like entry-level wage immigrants without any savings. Brutal, the prices of this place. And it was one of the reasons we left London the first time around and went to Berlin, because we felt like with the money that we were making, life just wasn't nice. And after 4 years of money struggles, we weren't like enjoying the city anymore. So why then? Why did we come back to this money pit of a metropolis? Because it's worth it. We missed it. We love it here, and after 3 years in Berlin, we had built up our business enough to feel that maybe if we're careful, we can afford to enjoy the city that we so fiercely love. And so far so good, but like, knock on wood, because I mean, we're two self-employed creatives. Who knows what's around the corner, am I right? So what about that other myth about the horrendous London flats? Is it true? Are the landlords really as atrocious as you hear? Well, I have lived in 4 London flats, varying in price quite a bit, and I can say that yes, the myth is true. Of course, the more you pay in rent, the better the standard will be. But if I'm completely honest with you, I've never once met a landlord or a landlady who cared one iota about the well-being of their tenants. And I just don't mean like the mental well-being of living in a comfortable space. I mean also actually the physical well-being of your home being, you know, safe and not harmful. We've had dangerous mold, cockroaches, mice, rats. We've had water leaks and flimsy apartment doors that don't lock properly. We've had our mail stolen by one of our landlords and neighbors crawling in through our windows. Again, I'm comparing to Sweden here with like the coziest fucking flats on the planet, and a drastic and complete absence of cockroaches. The worst thing as a young tenant here is probably that you have to deal with flatmates. And that, my friends, is a thing that I simply can't do. David doesn't count. He's a lovely flatmate. A little bit messier than me, but then again, he does all the laundry and all the washing up and all the other chores as well, really. So a little bit of tidying from my side is a small price to pay. If you are thinking of coming to London and you're not filthy rich already, please don't picture like Hugh Grant in Notting Hill or like Bridget Jones' level of bohemian coziness. You won't be central, you won't have your own space, you won't have, you know, charming windowsills and an open fireplace. You might have cockroaches or rats, but actually the rats, they're not so bad. It's the roaches that I can't deal with. Thank you so much to Songmont for sponsoring the video this week. Songmont is a gorgeous bag brand celebrating timeless beauty, and you know I'm all about investing in fewer but better timeless pieces for our wardrobe, choosing designs that are versatile and durable and practical enough for us to wear for many years to come. As you might remember, I received 2 beautiful Luna bags from their eco-vegan collection a couple of months ago, and I just love them. Such great quality and so easy to style. And this time they have kindly sent me 2 of their beautiful medium song bags. Also, these are from their eco-vegan collection, and guess what? These bags are made out of ocean plastic and waste materials, which you could never guess when using these little fellows. They're so soft and the quality is just mwah. So I got them in the cloud color and the taupe color with gold plated details, and I just love them both. And you'd be surprised how much you can fit in one of these bags. They're the perfect size for days when you're not bringing like your laptop. And I can wear them like 2 ways, either as a handbag using the handles, or I can attach this long strap and wear it crossbody or off the shoulder. Brilliant. You can also click them together to make the outer shape smaller for whenever you want to wear it as an evening bag, for example. I just love this type of fashion. Classic, timeless designs that you can wear several different ways. These are the types of investment pieces that are worth our cash. So go take a look at the Luna bag and the Song bag and Songmont's other eco-vegan bags for yourself. Just click the link below and use my promo code JennyMaster12 for 12% off. That's a nice deal. Again, thank you so much to Songmont, and let's get back to the video. You know that saying, if you're bored with London, you're bored with life. Is that true? Yes, so true. London is like the least boring place in the entire world for multiple reasons. First, it's massive. There are so many streets, too many bars, so many festivals and theaters and galleries and little lovely hole-in-the-wall eateries that, like, however long you might live, and I plan to live a goddamn long time, there's no way to see all of London. Living in London is living in a perpetual state of FOMO. You will miss so much because there is so much. And that is like one exciting way to live, don't you think? Secondly, London is always changing. People come and go, restaurants open and close and move, and pop-ups are made and unmade, and theaters change their repertoire constantly. And there's always a new trend or a new festival or a new weird fusion restaurant, brewery, coffee place, you know? And if I go to one area to have like a day off and then return to the same area for the same day off 3 months later, the place will look different. And thirdly, it's so varied. Every culture, every trend, every weird fashion subgroup, every single type of person will be represented in London. One of my least favorite things about Stockholm as a comparison is that it's so uniform. There are so few different cultures compared to London and so few trends going on simultaneously. So walking around London for a day, you will get like the full rainbow spectrum of humanity, and it gives you like this feeling of, you know, the world is big and people are just beautiful. So that brings me to another thing that I don't think many people realize before living here. Just how incredibly, ridiculously huge London is. It's not rare to sit on public transport for over an hour. Like, the city just keeps on going forever. This is always one thing that freaks me out whenever I fly into London when I'm returning home from a trip, is that you can fly over London for absolute ages. Like, the houses don't stop, they just continue to the horizon. You can't actually see where the city ends. 10 million people. The whole of Sweden has 11. So these are the types of things that you can't think about too long because it does your head in, doesn't it? 10 million people in one city. It's kind of like, you know, the universe expanding or never ending or whatever it is. Let's not think about this too deeply because I don't want to cause any existential crisis out there. Another thing, the system here is like quite chaotic. For example, you have to have a utility bill to get a bank account, but you have to have a bank account to get a utility bill. Actually, come to think of it, I don't even remember how we got ourselves out of this conundrum to begin with. I just know that it was a process. If you live central, like most often the rubbish collection system will simply be to, you know, leave your rubbish on the street one morning per week. There is not one person number that we have in Sweden. Instead, you have an NHS number, a national insurance number, a VAT number, a credit score, and for a bunch of other things, you don't even have a number at all. You just have to like pray and hope that giving your full name and date of birth will be enough to find you in their accounts. Volatile, that's for goddamn sure. Credit scores, cockroaches, black mold, and hour-long tube journeys aside, there is one aspect of London which is my absolute least favorite thing about the place: the wealth gap. There is such a ridiculous amount of unnecessarily rich people here, and an even more ridiculous amount of heartbreakingly broke people struggling to stay in a city that just simply doesn't take care of them. Seriously, walking around in the wealthier areas, like the cars you will see and the clothes people are wearing, like, do we need the Ferraris? Do we need £550 gym memberships? I mean, that's it. Tax the rich, close the wealth gap, take care of the city and its inhabitants. We are all Londoners, and no one deserves black mold. And no one deserves a Ferrari. There's another thing though. Another thing that you can't really experience before you've lived here. And that's just how gorgeous this city is. And how gorgeous you become simply by being a Londoner. Like the feeling walking on these streets, feeling like you belong, like you are home, and like all the majestic old buildings are a part of your city, is like nothing else. Dave and I say this every single time we have a day off just walking around, that we fall in love over and over again with this city. It's impossible to put your finger on just what makes it the best city that has ever lived. Maybe it's the balance of old and new, like how the history is so incredibly rich and impressive and still so visible everywhere, at the same time as it being so youthful and vibrant and trendy and light on its feet. Like the tradition and history don't weigh down the excitement and newness and like metropolitan pulse of its people. I love the smell, I love the feel, I love the people, and honestly, after more than 9 years in this city, really, there's no other place I'd rather be. By now, it's home, and it's more home than any other place I've ever lived. Messy and chaotic and wealth gappy as it is, I am proud to be a Londoner, and I will use my voice and, my vote to hopefully make it a more socialist, liberal place to be in the future. Have you ever been to London? Maybe you've even lived here. What was your impression? Did you love it or hate it? And fellow Londoners, do you agree with me or is your experience different from mine? I can't wait to hear your thoughts. Thank you so much for watching today. And if you do happen to see me wandering around on a London side street somewhere, please come up and say hi. I always love it when you do. Give me a like if you enjoy these type of cultural quirk videos, and don't forget to subscribe if you're new to my channel. And yes, I will see you very, very soon. Lots of love for now, and bye bye bye.